Hello, my name is Tim Kroker and today I'm here with proaudio.tv and we're at the Prolight and Sound 2025 in Frankfurt. And I'm here today with SOMA, and in front of me we have the latest instrument from SOMA. This is the SOMA Flux, available from March 2025. The Flux is kind of a special instrument and related to the theremin. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the theremin. That was one of the very first instruments, electronic instruments, and it just had two antennas and you didn't have to touch it, but you just played it in the air and it got those kind of ghostly sounds. And this is kind of the same principles, but instead of just waving in the air, we have magnets, like this, small ones. And if I hover over the board, I create a sound. And it's much easier to detect a pitch because here I have kind of a keyboard on top of my, or a layout, keyboard layout, I would say. So if you look closer, we have those longer lines, and those are kind of the black keys on a keyboard. So we have the groups of 2 and 3 and 2, and if you are familiar with the keyboard, then it's easy to detect a C here and a C there and here. So I think it's much easier than to have the theremin and try to figure out where the notes are. So this is a big advantage. On the other side, I'm not just only change the pitch, but at the same time, I control the volume. So by going down, it starts very quiet and then gets louder. So this gives me complete control over the pitch and the volume, and gives me the freedom to have my left hand with another magnet on that area. And here I influence the sound or the timbre of the sound, so to get different sound qualities. And that depends on the algorithms. So right now we have more than 30 algorithms, and I'm guessing that there will be more in future. And each algorithm is kind of an extra instrument, and they have specific timbres that I can change here. All right. So, like you saw, I can play fluently, but what I can do maybe for beginners, it's much easier. I can quantize, because here right now I have all the notes in between, for instance, C and C sharp. But if I quantize it, I really have C and C sharp or D. Nothing in between, which makes it, especially for beginners, much easier to detect the single notes. Another option I have is I cannot just play those legato notes, but I can play percussive. And in this case, I have kind of a virtual line on top of my instrument. And when I cross that line, I create a short sound. And when I cross it fast, the sound is louder. If I cross it slower, then the sound is softer. So I still have dynamic in the percussion mode. A last thing I like to show you is, like, this was kind of a typical theremin sound. Then we have tons of different synthesizer sounds, and that goes even into an experimental direction. So if I push a button here, then I can change, for instance, my presets, and now the keyboard works like a dial. So I'll dial in my sound. I'm going to number 8. This is a beat, it's called. And then right now I was using the instrument like a real instrument, like a violin, and with scales and stuff, but you don't have to. You can completely go experimental. Just place it there, and now I go on the other side and place another one. Oh, let's go and do phonic mode. And I place another one here. and so on. So, like I said, you can use it as a traditional instrument, but you really can go crazy and can experiment with it. That's actually kind of an overview of the Flux. A last thing, there will be a breakout box in the near future, and with that you get the MIDI data and even CV data out. That means you have 11 CV outs, and then you can use it as a controller, for instance, for your Euro rack set, and can control everything because, because what you have with just the two magnets, you have up to 17 parameters in your hand. So you don't have to switch anything, you don't have to leave your board, but you can play up to 17 parameters directly. And I think that gives you a lot of solutions for your outboard equipment. I think that's it for today. Little overview of the Flux. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.